Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sophie and I would love it if you hit that big red subscribe button down below. So if you can't tell, I'm actually filming this video in my back garden. I don't really know why I decided to film in my back garden. I just thought, well, the sun is shining for once in the UK. I can't really go anywhere else really because of social distancing, and you're probably going to see my bedroom a lot on my channel because, well, everybody in the world is basically in self-isolation or social distancing pretty much. So yeah, thought I'd film outside. One thing quickly before I get into the list of shows, I just want to recommend that you do not watch these shows with subtitles in your native language. You will not learn that way. You will just end up reading everything in your own language and not really paying attention to the German that is being said. If you do feel that you need subtitles when watching these videos, watch them with German subtitles, because then you can follow along and hear how different words sound, and if there is anything that you don't understand, you can press pause and look up new words, and then you learn some new vocabulary. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to get the obvious shows out of the way, and by the obvious shows I mean the ones that are on Netflix, because those ones are going to be quite popular and I feel like you would have heard of a lot of them already, but there will be other shows that maybe you haven't heard of, and other shows which you don't need to have a subscription to Netflix to watch. So yeah, anyway, first things first, the Netflix shows. Okay, so show number one is Dark, probably the most popular show on this list, and it's popular for a reason. It has been described as the German version of Stranger Things, and I highly recommend that you all go watch it. I've only heard of one person ever that didn't like the show Dark, and I think they're weird. They're weird for not liking the show Dark. I don't know anybody really that doesn't like the show. It is so good. If you like shows where you can't predict what is going to happen next, and where you really have to think a lot about what the hell is actually going on, Dark is the show for you. Go watch Dark. Show number two is Wir sind die Welle, or We Are the Wave. It's also another very good show. So it's basically about a group of teenagers in a high school in Germany who aren't very happy with stuff that's going on in their local community, and they want things to change, so they start this thing called The Wave. I'm not going to say too much about what they do in The Wave, but they do film everything they do, and you know, they do have some trouble with the police as well, so yeah, it's very interesting. I highly recommend. Show number three is Parfum, which I think I'm pronouncing wrong. Perfume in English. I'm pretty sure it's based on a book, because I know there's a book called Perfume, and they do read the book in the show. So it's basically about a bunch of murders where people are being murdered for their scent. Their scent is being used to make perfume, which I think is very much like the book, but I haven't actually read the book, so I'm not too sure. Series number four is How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. Now, the name of this show is in English, but I can assure you that the show is actually in German. It's basically about this kid called Moritz who, his girlfriend Lisa breaks up with him, and well, he finds out that she was taking drugs, and he basically starts selling drugs online in a weird way to try and win her back. So yeah, that's what that's about. I highly recommend it. It's definitely a bit of a comedy. Obviously they're not really teaching you how to sell drugs online, but they do give you a bit of information about drugs in general and some warnings about taking drugs and the risks of taking drugs. So yeah. Show number five is one which I recommend you watch, but I don't actually recommend you watch it right now. This is one which I suggest you adding on your list and waiting until it gets a bit closer to Christmas to watch, because it is a Christmas themed show. But I didn't want to leave it out despite it being March currently, because I thought, you know what, when it gets to Christmas time you might want to watch something Christmassy while still practicing your German, so I'll mention it now and then just make sure you remember it for when it gets to Christmas time, and that is Zeit des Geheimnis. I think that's what it's called. I think that's what the German translation for it is, because despite the fact that I watch these shows in German, it always comes up with the English title on Netflix, which is actually Holiday Secrets, which is not a direct translation and is definitely a very American translation, because they're calling Christmas holiday, which is an American thing to call it the holiday season. But yeah, ignore that. But yeah, this is a Christmas show that it's only a mini series, so it's only like 3 episodes long. So yeah, if you're looking for something to watch at Christmas time, I recommend that. Show number 6 is actually the last show that I'm going to recommend, which is on Netflix, and that is Nailed Germany, which is basically just this contest where a bunch of people try to recreate cakes. They're difficult cakes to make, like I can't even think of a German one, I'm thinking of the French version. In the French version of this show they had to make a cake of Celine Dion. I can't think of the German ones. I haven't actually watched all of the episodes of the German Nailed It, not because Nailed It Germany isn't as good, but just because I'd already binge watched the French one and watched a lot of the Mexican one and a lot of the Spanish one, that by the time I got to the German one I watched like 4 episodes and I was just bored because it was all pretty similar to obviously Nailed It France, Spain and Mexico. But yeah, I definitely recommend, as it is still a good way to practice your German, and if you like watching people make cakes and foul, then yeah, it's for you. So I decided to go get a cardigan because I was cold, and for some reason I decided to also pick up a daisy on my way back, because Netflix isn't the only platform which you can stream German language shows on. Amazon has plenty too, not as many as Netflix, but there are some good ones. The first one being Deutschland 83, so Germany 83, which you can guess it's set in 1983. It is about a spy from East Germany who is sent to West Germany, and he has to leave his family at home, and obviously there are a lot of differences between East and West Germany. So yeah, it is very interesting, especially if you're interested in that type of history. There's also a season 2 called Deutschland 86, which is apparently also available on Amazon Prime, according to one of my German teachers, but she has a German Amazon Prime account, and I can tell you that it is not available on the English version of Amazon Prime. It is available, but you have to pay for it, and it's quite a bit of money. I think it's like £5 an episode or something, or £4 an episode, which I don't really want to pay, so I haven't watched season 2. So unfortunately I cannot recommend season 2, but I can approve of season 1. It was so good that I actually wrote a German essay on it for uni, so yeah, highly recommend. And the next show is You Are Wanted. It's another one of those shows which for some reason has an English title, appears to anyway, because I cannot find a German version of it. Like, what would the German version be if I was to translate the title? I would translate it as Du wirst gesucht. Du wirst gesucht. Is that passive? It's been a while since I've had a German lesson. So there are 2 seasons of this show as far as I'm aware, unless Amazon have released more episodes and I haven't realised, as I'm more of a fan of Netflix, so I don't really go on Amazon Prime a lot. I can't actually remember if I finished watching season 2. I know I think I was on like one of the last episodes. I can't remember, like something big happened and I can't say it because obviously I'll be spoiling it, but yeah, I can't remember. I have a feeling ended up going back to uni or doing something and then forgetting about it. But it is a really good show despite that. It's kind of difficult for me to describe. It's basically I forgot the name of the main character as well, which doesn't help, but basically it's this guy, and basically someone makes him out to be a terrorist somehow, like using like the Burning Man uses something like on the internet. It is really weird, and then they're hunting him down, but obviously it's not him, and it's all to do with this thing called the Burning Man, and it's affecting his family as well. Yeah, that's basically my weird, really bad description of it. I don't want to say too much as well without giving anything away. So those were the two Amazon Prime shows that I wanted to recommend. I'm now going to recommend some other shows which you cannot watch on either Netflix or Amazon Prime, but I will still recommend them, and I'll tell you how you can watch them. So one of them being Sieben Leopard und Co., which is basically a show which is set in a zoo in Hamburg. It's basically like a documentary of this zoo, and I just watch it on YouTube, and they have like loads of episodes on there. So if you're into animal programs or like kind of more documentaries, then yeah, I would recommend that. And the next show is called Turkish for Anfänger, which I absolutely love. It's a comedy about this girl called Lena and her mum Doris. Basically decides to move in with her partner, who is Turkish, and he has children as well. So Lena and her brother, and I completely forgot Doris's partner's name, Jesus Christ, but yeah, he has children as well, and they all have to move in together, and obviously there's some cultural differences which they kind of have to overcome and get used to, and Lena isn't very happy that she's had to move in with them. I haven't actually watched all of the seasons of this show, and that is purely because I was watching it for my self-study portfolio at university, and you could only watch so many episodes of a TV series, and I was renting it from the university's DVD library to watch it, so then I never ended up like finishing all of the episodes because I couldn't find it on Netflix or Amazon Prime. You can order it from amazon.co.uk. I think you can order the unlimited box set for about £20, but you can also find episodes on YouTube, so I have started rewatching it from the beginning on YouTube, but the quality isn't the best, but I thought I'd recommend it anyway because maybe you'll be able to get hold of the DVD wherever you are in the world, maybe a bit cheaper, or maybe you don't mind about the quality of the videos on YouTube. But other than that, other than watching shows on Netflix, Amazon Prime and YouTube, I want to recommend a Mediatek, which is basically like Mediatek, I don't even know the word for it in English, like BBC iPlayer, but if you get me, where they just like shows. You can watch shows where you can watch shows online, kind of thing. So yeah, the Mediatek is called ARD Mediatek. I'll leave it in the description box down below, and it's basically just Germany's version of BBC iPlayer. Some of the shows I don't think you can watch in the UK, and I don't know about other places as well. It depends where in the world you are, but some of them you can, and there's films on there as well, so it's worth just having a look and seeing if there's anything that you're interested in watching. So yeah, that's it for this video. Please do give it a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that big red subscribe button down below to see more videos from me. Follow me on Instagram, all of that lovely stuff, and yeah, comment in the comment section down below as well. Comment if you liked the change of scenery and me filming in my garden, or if you think I should stick to my bedroom because of the wind and the motorbikes and the dogs and the wind blowing in my face and making my hair stick to my lip gloss. Maybe I shouldn't have worn lip gloss. Yeah, anyway,